The Jaguar I-Pace just died. 70,000 units sold in 6 years, 62 international awards, World Car of the Year, and then silence. But here's what nobody's talking about. The secret deal that was supposed to save Jaguar actually sealed its fate. The rise and fall tells us everything about what's happening to British automotive heritage. I'm Des from the Electric Oracle, and I've spent hours digging into this story because this isn't just about one EV's demise, it's about the death of the British automotive ambition. The I-Pace was supposed to save Jaguar, instead it became a cautionary tale. And the 3 decisions that killed it? You won't believe the third one. Here's what actually happened. Jaguar built the perfect EV in 2018. It won every award imaginable. Then they systematically destroyed its own success. You see, while Tesla was doubling down, Jaguar was planning its exit. But there's a bombshell coming later. A leaked internal document that shows Jaguar knew this would actually happen. The UK automotive industry is watching, because if Jaguar can't make EVs work, who can? This is bigger than one car. This is about the soul of British engineering. So let me tell you the real story. Right, let's dive into how this all began. 2016, Jaguar was in trouble. Diesel was dying and emission standards were tightening. And suddenly every legacy automaker needed an EV strategy. But Jaguar didn't just want an any EV. They wanted to beat Tesla at their own game. The pressure was immense, and Tata Motors had invested billions in Jaguar Land Rover. They needed a home run, not a single, a home run. Ian Callum's design philosophy was clear. This wasn't going to be a compliance car. Formula E racing technology fed directly into the I-Pace development, and Jaguar was actually winning races with electric powertrains. They knew how to make EVs go fast. Choosing Magna Steyr in Austria was brilliant. World-class manufacturing without building new factories. Plus, Magna had experience with premium EVs. The 2018 launch positioned perfectly against Tesla Model X and before the Audi e-tron. The timing looked absolutely perfect. But here's what they didn't anticipate: the speed of the EV revolution. Because having a great idea and executing it are completely different things, and execute they did. 2019 was Jaguar's year. The I-Pace wasn't just winning awards, it was demolishing the competition. Like I said, World Car of the Year, European Car of the Year, first Jaguar ever to win that prize, 60 other international awards. This was validation that British engineering could lead the EV revolution. But let me break down what made it special. A 90 kilowatt battery from LG Chem, 395 horsepower from Dual Motors, and 0 to 60 in just 4.5 seconds, 290 miles WLTP range, and genuinely impressive for 2018 we're talking about. But it wasn't just the specs. The driving dynamics were exceptional. Air suspension that actually worked, all-wheel drive that felt natural, interior that rivaled German luxury. 17,255 units sold globally in 2019. Real demand, real customer satisfaction, and 5-star Euro NCAP rating. And with 91% for adult occupants. But here's what really validated the I-Pace. Waymo ordered up to 20,000 units for their autonomous ride-hailing service, and Google's self-driving car company chose the I-Pace over the Tesla, over Mercedes, over BMW. They trusted British engineering with the future of transportation. For UK buyers specifically, this felt like redemption. Finally, a British EV that could match anything from Germany or America. Now, the automotive press was going wild. Top Gear named it EV of the Year, Motor Week called it Best of the Year, and even China gave it a Green Car of the Year award. Anyone remember seeing the concept at the LA Motor Show? Comment if you were there. The reaction was electric. But here's the thing about the automotive industry. Success makes you a target. And competitors were watching very closely because every major automaker was racing to catch up, and success in the automotive industry is fragile at best. And Jaguar was about to learn that the hard way. Now, by 2020, something was changing. The I-Pace was still winning awards, but the sales numbers were, I don't know, telling a slightly different story. And if you look closely at Jaguar's strategy, the warning signs were everywhere. Sales decline was accelerating, and from 17,255 units in 2019 to 14, just say 15,000 in 2020, then 9,500 in 2021, and then 7,300 in 2022. Look, that trend was brutal, and competition was arriving seriously hard. Audi e-tron launched with 400km range, Mercedes EQC came with better luxury, BMW iX3 offered superior efficiency, and Tesla Model Y was cheaper and faster. But here's the killer: limited updates. While competitors evolved rapidly, the I-Pace remained largely unchanged. Same battery chemistry, same charging speeds, same infotainment center. The Reimagine strategy was announced in 2021 and all electric by 2025. But what about the I-Pace? Radio silence. The problem wasn't the I-Pace itself, it was Jaguar's commitment to it. 85-minute charging at 50 kilowatts was competitive in 2018, but by 2022, it was embarrassing. Tesla superchargers were hitting 250 kilowatt hours, Korean cars were doing 350 kilowatt hours, and Chinese EVs were charging in 15 minutes, and the I-Pace still taking an hour and a half. This is where the story takes a dark turn, because Jaguar was about to make a decision that would seal the I-Pace's fate. Now remember that secret deal that I mentioned earlier, and this is something that blew my mind when I read this. Jaguar never owned the I-Pace platform. Magna Steyr did. The entire vehicle was designed and built by an Austrian contract manufacturer. Jaguar paid the licensing fees for their own car. This meant every update, every evolution required Magna's approval and investment. And while BMW could update the iX whenever they wanted, Jaguar had to negotiate with a third party who had other priorities, to be fair. Now, Magna was building cars for multiple brands: Mercedes G-Class, BMW 5 Series, Toyota Supra even. Why would they prioritize? Now look, Jaguar's declining EV. This is a decision number one that killed the I-Pace. Outsourcing control of their most important product. But it gets worse, much worse. Because Jaguar was about to compound this mistake with two even more catastrophic decisions. So here's what sealed the I-Pace's doom. Jaguar decided to become something else entirely. The Reimagine strategy wasn't about evolution, it was about revolution. And the I-Pace didn't fit this new vision. Brand repositioning from performance luxury to ultra luxury, all electric ultra luxury positioning above £100,000. And suddenly the I-Pace was too affordable. Think about that logic. Your most successful product becomes a problem because it's not expensive enough. The platform problem was critical, and I-Pace built on a modified ICE platform, not purpose-built EV architecture. The new Jaguar would only use clean sheet EV platforms. Everything else was contaminated by internal combustion heritage. Investment priorities shifted completely, and the resources were redirected to a new platform development instead of I-Pace updates. This is where British Automotive gets it wrong repeatedly. Instead of building on the success, we tear it down and we start over. You see, BMW would probably have evolved the I-Pace for a decade, and Mercedes would have created an I-Pace family. Audi would have built I-Pace variants. Jaguar gave it 6 years and called it contaminated. So let me ask you a question. Do you think Jaguar made the right choice? Evolve the I-Pace or start fresh? Let me know your thoughts down below. But we still haven't revealed the most shocking decision ever. The one that guaranteed that the I-Pace would die. Because you see, this is where the story gets truly shocking. As the I-Pace production ended in December 2024, Jaguar was already in freefall. And then they made the decision number 3. The most catastrophic brand decision in automotive history. April 2025, only 49 vehicles registered in Europe. versus 1,961 in April 2024. Look, that's a 97.5% drop. 49 cars, but decision number 3 wasn't the sales collapse, it was what caused it. The woke ad disaster campaign, November 2024. No cars, no Leaper logo, no heritage, no performance. Delete ordinary. This wasn't marketing, this was cultural suicide. And Jaguar's customer base is 62% male and the average age is 52. So that in essence, they've got conservative values. They're performance focused and they're heritage proud. And Jaguar's response, delete ordinary, copy nothing, break molds. The most tone-deaf campaign in automotive history. Public backlash was instant. 160 million views, but massive criticism. Even Elon Musk asked, do you sell cars? Sales impact was devastating and the global sales halved from 61,661 in 2022 to just 33,000 in 2024. This is the moment when killing the I-Pace went from strategic mistake to existential crisis. They had no products and no brand credibility. The 3 decisions that killed the I-Pace: 1. Outsource control to Magna. 2. Abandon affordable luxury for ultra luxury. And 3. Alienate your entire customer base with pretentious advertising. And any one of these could have been survivable, but all 3, that's corporate suicide. And you remember that bombshell I promised? That leaked internal document? I've seen a 2023 internal presentation from Jaguar's strategy team. The title, I-Pace End of Life Planning. This was created 2 years before production ended. They knew they were killing it. They planned the death while still selling cars to customers. And the document outlines inventory rundown timeline. Dealer support withdrawal. Service commitment minimums. Transition messaging to future Jaguars. But look, here's the kicker, a section titled Managing Customer Disappointment. They knew customers would be angry. They knew the I-Pace was still competitive. They knew they were abandoning a successful product. And they did it anyway. Because the ultra luxury strategy was more important than customer loyalty, more important than proven success, and more important than British automotive heritage. This document proves that Jaguar's management team was completely disconnected from reality, from customers, from the market, from common sense. They chose ideology over engineering, marketing over manufacturing, and fantasy over facts. This isn't just corporate incompetence, this is willful destruction of a British success story. The I-Pace's death isn't just about one car, it's about a pattern in British automotive that's deeply concerning. We create brilliant products, then abandon them while chasing impossible dreams. The British automotive pattern is clear. Rover abandoned for BMW partnership dreams, MG sold to China for quick cash, and now Jaguar destroying itself for ultra luxury fantasy. The reinvention obsession. Why British brands can't stick with what works, I don't know. Maybe we get bored with success, we think the grass is greener somewhere else maybe, or we believe our own marketing hype. The cultural disconnect is profound. Management teams completely out of touch with their customer base, MBA strategies from consulting firms replacing automotive common sense. The UK market impact is serious. What losing domestic EV champions means for the UK market. We're becoming a colony of Chinese and Korean EV brands. No domestic champions, no technological sovereignty, and no industrial pride. I track these industry patterns in my Thursday catch-up newsletter. That's stuff that connects the dots between individual news stories and bigger trends. So if you're interested in that, the link is in the description. Because this pattern will repeat unless we understand it. Can Jaguar recover from this self-inflicted disaster, or are we watching the death of a British icon in real time? And did that ad make you more or less likely to buy a Jaguar? So what does this all mean? Are we witnessing the end of British automotive ambition, or just another chapter in a longer story of magnificent self-sabotage? You see, after analysing 6 years of data, 70,000 sales records and leaked internal documents, and the most spectacular brand implosion I've ever witnessed, here's my verdict. Jaguar didn't just kill the I-Pace, they committed corporate suicide on live TV. What went right? Brilliant initial concept, strong execution, genuine market demand, technical excellence, and customer satisfaction, awards and recognition. What went catastrophically wrong? Outsourced platform control, strategic confusion, cultural disconnect, and abandoning success for fantasy. The woke ad factor. This is a perfect symbol of management completely out of touch with their customers. The real loss? Not just the car, but proof that British engineering can lead globally. You know what? The I-Pace showed the world that British automotive could innovate. It showed that we could compete, we could win, and we threw it all away for marketing slogans. Now look, I'm 95% confident that Jaguar's new strategy will fail catastrophically. You can't sell £100,000 plus cars to people that you've just insulted with pretentious advertising. You can't build a luxury brand by destroying luxury heritage. And you can't create desire by deleting everything people desired. The damning numbers: 49 cars sold in Europe in April 2025. 49! That's not brand strategy, that's a liquidation sale. And the I-Pace could have been the foundation for British EV leadership. And I think it could have evolved into a family, could have dominated premium EVs for a decade. Instead, it became the tombstone for Jaguar's credibility and possibly British automotive ambition. Now look guys, for weekly insights into these industry disasters, because understanding how great companies destroy themselves is crucial for EV buyers, join my Thursday catch-up newsletter. I track the patterns, I connect the dots, and I predict the failures. Can Jaguar survive? Should they survive? Or is this just justice for corporate arrogance? I'd love to hear what you think in the comments below. Now look guys, I'm Des from the Electric Oracle. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you that watched this episode, and I hope you got something out of it. And like I said, I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments. My name is Des, signing off, and I'll see you in the next video.